Hello, my name is Rye, and welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're all having another amazing day, because I am, and that is because I'm very excited to be releasing another video to you all. Anyway, before we hop into it, of course, we have a couple pre-video topic stuff to discuss, which is the obvious: like, subscribe, share, hit the bell, do all that jazz, all the YouTube stuff, and check out the description. In the description there is going to be a link to the Instagram as well as to the GameCrafter.com, to where you can buy packs of the game. There's also going to be a link to the to a playlist that I have of going over all of the cards for Battle Cores, so be sure to check that out. And yeah, that's about it, so I'm gonna go ahead and hop on into it. The first card that we're going over in this video is Flower Power. Flower Power is a price 2, 0/1 nature plant type monster with the effect plant monsters gain +1/+1. Okay. Before we even go over anything in more detail, I'm going to go ahead and say this card is a staple in every Tree Vitality deck. Just simply because it kind of acts as a second Tree Vitality in the sense of boosting your main monsters. And because it boosts specifically plant monsters, it actually gives you a slightly wider range in what kind of things you can target. Because every nature type in set 1, as far as I know, I can't think of any that don't follow this rule, every nature type in set 1 is a plant type as well. But not every plant type is a nature type. The main example is Pepage. Pepage is able to be buffed by this, giving it a very nice spot in the deck because it's boosted by one of the two main boosting options for the deck. So anyway, Flower Power is incredible. It's price 2/0/1, but it's not actually a price 2/0/1 because its effect says plant monsters gain +1/+1. This card is a plant type, therefore it's functionally a 1/2. A price 2 1/2 with a very powerful effect. Really, the only downside of this card is that it also buffs up the opponent's plant monsters if they have any, and because of the prevalence of Pepage, because of its ease of slotting into really any deck, means that you're pretty likely to see it. Does mean that you are going to be buffing up the opponent's Pepage if they have one, which can definitely be a bit of a downside, but overall I think it gives you more of an upside than the downside of the opponent getting a buff as well. But that's the case of all field cards, really, and so you should be used to taking that gamble. Anyway, and nature plant type is an amazing typing to have in set 1 because of Tree Vitality. As well as the other great support through stuff like Baby Potato and Leaf Swordsman, and a card that we're soon going to be going over called Ultaberry, and all that good stuff. And it's like I said, it's a very good card in the kind of decks that are able to use it and abuse it. So if you pull one or two, or who knows, maybe even a whole playset, go for it. Build you a phenomenal Tree Vitality deck. Anyway, that's about all I'm going to say about the card, because I feel like it's pretty obvious why it's really good. Like, I don't really feel like I need to explain any further or give any more examples beyond +1/+1 to your main cards, which is really good. So yeah. The next card is the aforementioned Ultaberry. Ultaberry is a price 1 1/1 plasma plant type with the effect Ender, search one plant monster or trap card. So this card is very similar to Baby Potato in the sense of it's a very cheap, in this case, and in Baby Potato's case, price 1 plant monster that has an ender effect that helps you search for your key cards, in this case being a plant monster or a trap card. The only real targets for it in set 1 are obviously all the plant monsters that you'd consider running, as well as for trap cards being attack rebound, which is really your only option for set 1. Once set 2 comes out, there's definitely more options when it comes to said trap cards, of choice. But for set 1, it's pretty much just search out a plant or a attack rebound. But either way, that's still very useful. The biggest drawback of this card is that it's not a nature plant type. It is, actually I'd forgotten about it not being nature earlier, when I said pretty much only Pepage, but it still kind of stands true that really the main one is Pepage, that is a plant type but not a nature type. But this is technically the other card, being a plasma plant. Just like with all the plasma types I've mentioned up until now, it's not a great typing because there isn't really a whole lot of very good support for it, and so, you're kind of struggling. So this card definitely leans a lot more on that plant typing, but it can still fit in Tree of Vitality decks because of Flower Power being an additional boosting option. It's just not going to be quite as good, and it's the kind of card that you're running less copies of because of it. So it's definitely not bad, it's just not crazy or anything. It's alright. Anyway, that's about all I have to say about Ultaberry. And the next card is a very important card. And it is going to be the most important card that I go over for this entire video. And that is Chog. Chog is the other primary main deck monster in set 1 for the Alien Engine. While Goltez is the main enabler, Chog is just some extra, a bit of extra something on top that really helps out the Alien Engine. It doesn't necessarily help out the Alien Engine, it just kind of gives you a bit more value for the Alien Engine. But Chog is a bit of a garnet because you never really want to draw it. But anyway, enough talking about it, let's actually dive into what it does. And it is a price 1, 1/1, Earth Alien type monster with a lengthy effect saying, when an alien legend is summoned, quick summon this card from your deck or hand. The effect of Chog can only be activated once per turn. Okay. It just says what it says. If a alien type legend card is summoned to the field, whether you're summoning or the opponent is, you can quick summon this thing from your deck or hand, so just cheat it out. It's an extra 1/1 body for free. There's really no downside to it. The reason why I say it's a garnet is because you never truly want to draw into it, you just want to leave it in your deck, but also because there's not that very many alien summons. You really don't need to run more than 1 or 2 copies per deck if you are running the Alien Engine, and so you're a lot less likely to just happen to draw into it, and even if you do, it's not the end of the world because you can still quick summon it from your hand, making it not the worst thing. This card does, in spite of it already being really good for the Alien Engine, and because of how splashable the Alien Engine is, makes it really good in anything, especially for an Earth monster. But it becomes significantly better whenever mini set 1 is released. So once we get to that, I'll be bringing up this card more. But for right now, that's about all I have to say about it. Is just, it's a free 1/1 body that can be summoned whenever you summon out your Matter Tracer, and that's about it. The one downside is that the opponent will also get to summon it, or summon theirs if they have one in the deck. Whenever you summon an alien an alien legend, so you know. But is that really? Forgive me. My dad walked in. Anywho, so if that's really enough to pull you away from running the alien engine, is just that the opponent also gets a 1/1 body for free. You know, well, for me personally, I don't really think that that's enough to have it lose its usability. But if that's enough for you, then, you know, go for it. Anywho, the next and last card, not just the last card for this video, but the last monster card for set 1. So this is the end of at least set 1's series. Don't worry, there'll be another one for set 2. Is Space Craftsman. Space Craftsman is a very interesting card. It pretty much just exists for the combination of mini-bots and superior construction. But let me go over what the card does itself before I go over those other cards. Space Craftsman is a price 1, 0/1 light alien type monster with the effect Startup, search 1 mini-bots and superior construction from deck or ground zone. It literally just exists to search out those 2 cards. It doesn't really do anything on its own, and it has never really done much of anything on its own outside of that. So it just pretty much exists for the combination of mini-bots and superior construction, which is a powerful combo, but it's not like game-breaking or anything. Anyway, mini-bots and superior construction. I'll go over mini-bots first. Mini-bots is a price 3 boost card that allows you to summon 3 robot tokens, which are defined as robot type 1/1s with active. And you get to summon, like I said, 3 of them, so that's pretty good. And superior construction is a price 1 boost card that gives +1/+1 to your active robot monsters. By the way, tokens are considered monsters, therefore, for 4 points, you can summon 3 2/2s with active. That's quite a bit of value. That is pretty good. Like I said, it's not anything game breaking, and that's about the extent of the that's about the extent of the value that you're going to be able to get out of it. It's just kind of a burst option. But if you have nothing better to fit in your deck, why not run it, right? Why not run Space Craftsman mini-bots and superior construction all together? Anyway, that's about all I have to say about that card, because that's about all that it does, but it's definitely something worth considering, and it is an alien type, and so even though light is pretty much a non-type in this, or in set 1 because of the lack of support, alien is definitely not one, and so if you want to run it along with Wuggle-Tez to search it out and get more consistent access to that little combo of getting a 0/1 body and then, you know, being able to search out a mini-bots and superior construction for free, especially ones that you've already used, is really useful. Being able to like recycle those cards is not a bad option. So I definitely say it's worth considering, but you know, that's about all I have to say about that. So I hope that you all have a blessed day and fare thee well.